Well, hello, boys and girls. Today we are going to be making a landscape. And a landscape is a picture of the outside. And I don't know if you noticed, but the outside is definitely getting a little bit more fall. It's actually already the season of fall, and things that happen are the leaves change colors, they fall to the ground, it gets a little cooler outside, and the sun goes to bed a lot earlier. So we're gonna make a nice fall landscape. So I'm gonna go to a blank page in my sketchbook. Now, if it's on a new page, I like to flip my page back. And if you have a little bit of mess from our last project, that's okay too. Now you'll notice I have all of my colors in front of me. I have every color of the rainbow, plus I have some new colors. I got pink, and I have brown, and I have black. Now these are available because I can use any of those colors to create my landscape. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna draw. So you're gonna use a pencil to draw with, but I like to use a pen so you can see what I'm doing. So get your pencil ready, and you're gonna draw with me. So last time we were together, we learned about some lines. And we're gonna use some of these lines today to create a landscape, along with some shapes. So I'm gonna make sure my paper is facing landscape style first. That means it's long like a landscape. Now I'm gonna take my pencil, but I'm using a pen, and I'm gonna start by building my landscape. I'm gonna start at the bottom, and I'm gonna draw a big curved line. Can you practice in the sky? Woo! Woo! Now I'm ready. Now remember, you're doing this in pencil, so if you make a mistake, you can always erase. Okay, so there's my big curved line. It's like a big hill. Now I'm gonna add a few more so it looks more like a landscape. All right, so now I'm gonna start at the middle of my big curved line, and I'm gonna draw another curved line, and this time it's gonna stop on the edge. So you can practice first, and then when you're ready, go ahead. A curved line is a great line to use if you wanna make a landscape. All right, so now I'm gonna do one more curved line off to this side. Perfect. So now I have my 3 layers of my land. Now, since I'm already in the mood to do some more curved lines, I'm gonna add one big one for the sun. And it's gonna be the sun coming up over the horizon, or maybe it's setting in the evening. We don't know. So I'm gonna do one more big curved line right here in the middle. And we're gonna make this one yellow because that'll be our sun. All right, so now we're gonna use some more lines to add detail to our landscape. And we're gonna start in the sky. So the sky, or the background, is usually at the top of the page. We already have the sun there, but now we're gonna add some clouds. And a great line for clouds is a curly line. You can also use a bumpy line too, but I love that curly line. So here's how I start. I start with a letter C. Can you guys make a letter C in the air? What sound does that make? That's the sound it makes. And then I make another C, and another one, and another one, and another one, all the way back to the beginning. And now I have a cloud. So I'm gonna do another one, and they could be any size you want. Big clouds, small clouds. I think 3 is perfect. All right. Now, we're gonna use some more lines to decorate our background. We're gonna add some birds in the sky. So I'm gonna use my friend the bumpy line to make some birds. So to make a bird, I'm just gonna do 2 bumps, 1 and 2. Now, if you want them to be a little bit thicker, you can do it over and over again. And you can make them as small as you want or as big as you want. So I'm just gonna add a few birds in the sky. Okay. Now, if you want to, well, we'll finish the sky later. Let's do some detail at the bottom. So it is a landscape, and it's the fall landscape. So let's make it look really fall. So one vegetable that you see in the fall is a pumpkin. The reason why is because they are harvested or picked during the fall. So we're gonna add some pumpkins. We're gonna add some big ones, and we're gonna add some small ones. So the first pumpkins we're gonna add are right on this first hill. And a great shape to use for a pumpkin is a circle. Can you practice a circle in the sky? So let's add a couple of circles. There's one, maybe a little bit of a smaller one, and another one. Now another great shape for a pumpkin is an oval. It kind of looks like a circle that's been squished. So I'm gonna make a couple ovals, just like that. Look at that. I think I need one more pumpkin over here. Now we're gonna make some more pumpkins, but these are gonna be farther away. They're gonna be over to one of our sides. We can put it here or here. Now when things are farther away, they get smaller. So we're gonna make smaller circles or ovals over here. And if you wanna put them in rows like you would find them on a farm, you can do that too. But I like to just randomly put them. Okay, there we go. Maybe one more pumpkin there. All right, so right now it doesn't look like pumpkins. We need to add more detail. So the next thing I'm gonna add is I'm gonna add a stem. And a stem is just like a rectangle that goes on top of our pumpkin. It feeds the pumpkin. It's what makes it grow really, really big. So we're gonna start with a rectangle. Can you practice a rectangle in the sky? Boop, boo, boop, boop. So it has 2 short lines and 2 long lines. So I'm gonna add little stems on the top of my pumpkins. Now I only have to do 3 sides because one's already done with my circles. And I think these pumpkins need stems too. They're just gonna be really teeny tiny. So make sure all of our pumpkins get stems. We wanna make sure they grow nice and big. Okay. Now our pumpkin needs ridges and lines. This is what's gonna make them look more like a pumpkin and less like an apple. Right now they look like apples. We wanna make them look like pumpkins. So we're gonna give them some lines. So the first line we're gonna use is a straight line, and it's gonna go from up to down. And I'm gonna put that one right in the middle, just like that. And then I'm gonna add some more lines on each side, but this time they're gonna curve, just like that. And then I'm gonna do the opposite on the other side. Let me show you again. So a straight line in the middle and a curved line on each side. Maybe a few. Straight line in the middle and some curved lines. Oh wow, they're really starting to look like pumpkins now. Awesome, awesome. Okay, now we can't forget about these guys. They need lines too. All right. All right, so let's add some more details to our pumpkins. We like to add lots of details. Now, did you know that pumpkins actually grow on a vine? It's like a long curly stem. That's how the pumpkins get their nutrients and the water. So we're gonna add some little curly vines on the tops of our pumpkins. So we can use our curly line or a bumpy line again. So right next to the stem, I'm gonna add some bumps and some curls. And I like to add them on both sides, but you could add them on just one side if you want. Just kind of gives them a little bit of fun and detail. I can't forget about these guys, but maybe on those I'll just add them on one side. All right, so look at our farm. It's looking really good. Now, next I'm gonna add is some lines on this hill. Because it's the closest, it has lots of details. And since they are harvesting the pumpkins, maybe some of that soil has been turned up. And they use machines for that, so we're gonna make little stripes in our land. So I'm going to start at the top of our land or hill, and I'm going to go down. Now you can go up to down, or I did a diagonal. Now I'm going to do the next one, but if I see a pumpkin in my way, I'm going to skip and continue it on the other side. So skip and draw, skip and draw. And if it's not perfect, it's okay, guys. We don't want it to be perfect. Art doesn't have to be perfect. So now we have some lines. Look at our landscape. It's looking really, really, really cool. All right, so now we're ready for our farmhouse. That's right, it's on a farm, so we need somewhere for the farmer and his family to live. So let's add that. We're gonna add it on our last hill. So we're gonna use some shapes now. Next shape we're gonna use is a square. So it's a little different than a rectangle because all 4 sides are the same. Can you practice a square in the sky? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna add a square right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Very good. Now he needs a roof, so we're gonna add a triangle this time. Triangle has 3 sides. All right, so I'm gonna go up, find the middle of that square, go up a little bit, mark it with a little dot, and then I'm gonna add a diagonal line on each side to make a triangle. So it just needs a few more details. I'm gonna add a door. So I'm gonna use another rectangle. We drew those with our pumpkins. And some squares for the windows. Just like that. Now I like to add more detail because it is a farmhouse. Usually they have boards that make up the sides of it. So I'm gonna add some boards. You can add some lines down the side for the roof and an X in the middle for that door. Look at my barn. Cool. If you want to add a chimney, you can. Whatever you want. Lots of detail. All right, now I'm going to add a fence to my landscape, and this will be the last thing I draw, and then I finally get to color. So I'm going to add some lines that go from my house to the top of the hill. So they're kind of curved. And I'm going to do 2 of them. One at the top and one at the bottom. Kind of looks like a road going to the house. Do the same on the other side. Then I'm going to draw some short vertical lines that go across the 2 lines to make a fence. Just like that. Perfect. Look at my little landscape. Oh my goodness, so cool. Now it's ready for some color. So. Alright, boys and girls, now I'm going to use some colors. So I think we're going to start with the sun. So what color is the sun? It's going to be yellow. Now I think I'm going to start coloring my grass. And I'm going to use the color green. And I'm not going to use just one green. I'm going to try to see if I can find as many different kinds of green as I can. Greens come in different values. That means they're light or dark. Different kinds of greens. So I'm going to pick a different green for each hill. And I might even color my stripes in with some brown too. So you'll see me do that next. finished with my drawing. I colored in the best I could. I used all my colors, and I think it looks great. I hope you guys had lots of fun. I know I did, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.